Hi, everybody. It's Kate, and I'm here with Maria McDonald. It's Maria's day 2 of her new human resources firm. And we are here today to talk about the legal issues facing family health teams. This is the second session of our 10-session series. And we're going to talk today about managing difficult employees and terminating employment with compassion.
So, you've decided for whatever reason you're going to performance manage. What is your best strategy? Best strategy is to be clear and direct. It's and professional, but don't skirt around the issue and be specific. So if the person is sarcastic, if the person is rude, if the person won't look at other people, won't say hello to other people, right? That, keeps their head down. Whatever the issue is, tell them what it is. Be very direct. Point out what the concerning behavior is. Do not just say they have a negative attitude, right? Or they're not part of the team.
And so what should you do instead? So you're going to be specific about the exact behaviors, language, because you've got a bad attitude is too vague? Is that the...
Yeah, because what that says to them, oh, I'm not part of the popular clique.
Oh, right.
Right? I'm not, so I don't go for lunch all the time. I don't joke around. I don't, if someone doesn't joke around, that's totally fine. You're not hiring people to be comedians right? But if you are on reception, you do have to make eye contact.
Right.
You do have to say hello. If you are a part of the admin team, and your job is to support A, B, C, and D, you have to talk to all of them.
Right.
Right? A, B, C, and D can't be afraid to approach you because you might be rude to them. So really need to be specific. I always equate it to, it's kind of like your kids, your teenagers, or your kid. You have to point out specifics. You're not allowed to raise your voice at this time, or they need to know what to do. They're looking to you for guidance, right, to manage. Advise them as well how it affects people. They often don't have the emotional intelligence, right? So tell them that this is how it's perceived in the workplace. This is what it's doing this is how other employees feel about it. And tell them what is expected, right? I expect you to be respectful. I expect you to say hello. I expect you, when somebody asks you for advice, not to be derogatory to them.
And do you link it to the organizational values? Is that ever helpful? Yeah.
Absolutely. That this is a team, and ultimately it all goes back to the client, right? I always bring it back to the client. And you've got, so you've got to work with this IHP, and they need to be able to talk to you and resolve.
Because otherwise patient care is compromised. Because this happens all the time, is we have gaps in patient care resulting in poor clinical outcomes because two people would not talk to each other.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
You just can't have that. I mean, that's just a safety issue.
Don't forget, offer them assistance. So you've pointed out, here's what the behavior is like. Here's how it's affecting the organization and clients. Here's what's expected. Then offer them help. Don't forget your EAP or your disability insurer. They may have assistance, or there's other resources that may be available. Ask for their feedback or their response. Be aware that this can open up a whole can of worms, and they will not come back with, oh, I feel bad. Thank you for pointing it out. It will be everybody else's fault, and that may become very labor intensive, right? You will have to address each and one of those concerns and say, I've addressed it, I've looked at it. No, not acceptable. Or there might be something that is, but you do have to address each one of them.
Okay, so is there ever a time that you don't ask for their response? That you just say, look, I'm giving you feedback, go forth and change your circumstances?
No, I don't.
Because you're in it. You're going to take this on.
Not only that, because a court would say, What's your response?
Okay.
And I want to know the answer now.
Good.
And deal with it. I don't want to hear about it the first time at a human rights tribunal
Okay.
or a court, right? You can deal with it just as well as a judge can.
Yes, we can.
Absolutely.
All
There's
right.
no magic in judges, like, you know, but you've got to ask the question and you've got to deal with it.
Okay.
Advise them that you will be monitoring, right? Be checking up, and for good or bad, to check in.
Okay, and can I say this? This is one of the things. Follow-up is where we all fall down, because we are great at responding in the moment, and then we're going to say, okay, we're going to check back in 3 months, and then you have 7 million other things that come into play, and you forget to follow up because actually it's been fine. There have been no more complaints, but I can tell you this is where you absolutely have to focus, because if you don't keep on it,
Yeah.
it becomes a huge issue, or they say, what? I just assumed I was perfect in the last, because you haven't said anything to me for 6 months. So you do have to be, follow-up is.
And if you don't follow up and then they do something else down the road, you can't really depend on your old performance management for termination. Like, you're back at square one.
I hate that.
You are back.
Now, next time in March, I'm going to be joined by Dr. Jennifer Shapiro, and we are going to talk about medical assistance in dying, how that relates to your practice. I know it's, this is more of an issue in hospitals, but this is something that family health teams need to know and understand, and this might be an opportunity where you sign up some of your clinicians who, may still be interested in learning about this topic, since it has, the landscape has radically changed in the last year.